Good morning, children. This is Parthasarathi, physical science teacher of Kakatiya. Next topic within ionic bond is factors affecting in formation of cations and anions. What are the factors actually affect to form an ionic bond? We require two ions, that is cation as well as anion. To form this cation as well as anion, some factors will affect. Those factors now we are going to discuss. Before going to the particular factors, let me explain few concepts regarding this particular point. To form an ionic bond, what it will play a role. We have already know that in periodic classification, we have already seen that periodic classification we are having 118 elements. These 118 elements have been arranged in the form of groups as well as periods. If you go for groups, we are having 18 groups. If you go for period, we are having 7 periods. Coming to groups there itself, such as first A group element, second A group element, third A group element, fourth A group element, fifth A group element, sixth A group, seventh A group, as well as eighth group. This is called as main group shell. Similarly, there will be having subshells called as first B to eighth B. As we are in 10th class, we discussed about what only these groups called as major groups or main group shells called as first A group, second A group, third A group, fourth A group, fifth A group, sixth A group, seventh A group, eighth A group. We know 8 group elements or 8th A group elements. We call 8th A group elements are nothing but what? Noble elements or stable elements. Coming to remaining all, we are having 3 here. First A group element, second A group element, third A group element. Similarly, fifth A group element, sixth A group element, seventh A group element. These elements are losing electrons. First A group, second A group, third A group losing electrons to attain stability to form cations. Sixth A group, fifth A group, sixth A group, seventh A group gaining electrons to form anions to attain stability. Therefore, these elements, first A group element, second A group element, third A group elements, we call them as nothing but what? Metals. And if you go for fifth A group element, sixth A group element, and seventh A group elements, we call them as non-metals. Here, metals means what? What characteristic they will have? They will have metallic character. They will have non-metallic character. Based upon what we can say that it is having metallic characteristics, it is having non-metallic characteristics. As these elements are having tendency to lose electron, means what happens as it is losing, it is forming a positive ion. That positive ion is called as what ion? Cation. As it is having extra electrons in valence shell, losing electrons, therefore positive ions are forming, therefore these elements are called as electropositive elements. Electropositive characteristic element we can call it. Similarly, here these elements, 5th A group element, 6th A group element, 7th A group elements are gaining electrons, means more requirement of electron, more number of electrons are existing within that one, therefore they are called as electronegative characteristic element, we can call it up. To form an ionic bond, electropositivity nature as well as electronegativity nature are playing a vital role. Here if you are going for first A group element, second A group element, third A group element, where electropositive characteristics is more, what they will do, they are losing electrons, having extra electrons in valence shell. As they are losing electrons, they are attaining positivity. If it is attaining positivity, means what? These element doesn't have electronegativity? No, we can't say like that. Each and every element will have positive nature as well as negative nature within an element. As they are having more percentage of electropositivity or high percentage of electropositivity and low percentage of electronegativity, we call these metals are as electropositive elements. Coming to non-metals, 5th A group element, 6th A group element, 7th A group element. As they are gaining electrons, their attaining electronegativity is high, more number of electrons. Electronegativity is very high. If electronegativity is high, obviously electropositivity will be. So high electronegativity is existing for non-metals, therefore they are called as electronegative characteristics elements. So based upon this particular nature, depending to form an ionic bond, electronegativity will play a vital role. Electronegativity between elements must be equal to the difference between elements, either it is metals. Metals means what? Electropositive characteristics elements. As non-metals, if you are going it up, they are called as electronegative characteristics equal or greater than 1.9. If electronegativity of an element, a compound, the difference between them must be equal or greater than 1.9 electronegativity only, then a bond will form. That bond is called as ionic bond. That bond is called as ionic bond. If it is less than 1.9, will it form an ionic bond? No. It won't form an ionic bond. To form an ionic bond, compulsory that electronegativity of those two elements must be, the bond formation molecule must be equal or greater than 1.9 electronegativity. Now coming to factors affecting in formation of cation as well as anion. These are the four factors which affect in formation of cation as well as anion. Coming to atomic size. Atomic size can also be represented as atomic radius also. What does this atomic radius called as? What does it define? If you go for atomic radius, I am drawing a structure here. This is for example an atom. Nucleus is existing. This is center of the nucleus. And this is valence shell, we suppose. The distance from center of the nucleus to that of valence shell is called as atomic radius. It can be measured by one unit called as Armstrong unit. 1 Armstrong unit is equal to 10 to the power of -8 centimeter. Or it can also be measured in nanometer. 1 nanometer is equal to 10 to the power of 10 meter there itself. Next, coming to what? Ionization potential. What is ionization potential? If you go for this is an atom, this is valence shell. Within this some valence shell, some electrons are existing. To remove energy required to remove electron from valency shell. From valency shell we are removing an electron. Energy required to remove an electron from valency shell is called as ionization potential, we can call it up. It can be measured with electron volt or kilojoule per mole. Coming to next one is what? Electron affinity. What is electron affinity? Electron affinity means within this valency shell, adding of an electron is needed itself. Energy required to add electron into valency shell. Energy required to add electron into valency shell. That is called as electron affinity. Positive nature, electron is losing, metal is losing electron. Electroaffinity, electron is gaining, means what? Electron negativity characteristics element is gaining electrons. These two atoms coming closer to each other. These two atoms coming closer to each other. As they are coming closer to each other to form an ionic bond, within that one, a role will be played by electronegativity. That's the reason I said here, electronegativity between to form an ionic bond, it must be equal or greater than 1.9 electron volt. 1.9 it must be there itself. So this electronegativity, what it will do? It has a tendency. It is having a relative tendency of an atom. After forming a bond, what happens there itself? It forms as a huge compound there itself. Within that atom, what happens there? A relative tendency of attracting electrons. It will attract electrons towards itself. It is attracting towards itself. Before that, what happened? One atom loses electron form, cation. One atom gain electron form, anion. Combining together and forming a compound. After forming a compound, what happened? This compound has to be exist in the form of the nature. To attain that nature, what is doing here? Electronegativity is attracting those electrons towards itself within a bonded atom. Within a bonded atom, within its form. So, electronegativity is playing a role. Electronegativity is called as relative tendency of atom to attract electrons towards itself when it is bonded. When it is bonded, then the electrons will be attracted towards itself. The relative tendency of attracting electron towards itself is called as electronegativity. These are regarding definitions of all the factors which are affecting this electronegativity. Now coming to what? This electronegativity is also given by one scientist called as Wilkinson. A new definition he has given, a derived definition he has given. What is the definition? Means what? Average of ionization potential plus electron affinity will give us nothing but what? Electronegativity. Electronegativity. Now coming to cation. If we go for cations, to form cations, these four factors, how they will be affected. If you go for atomic size, it will be greater. To form a cation, atomic size will be greater, remaining all will be lesser. Within to form a cation there itself, atomic size will be increased there itself more, remaining ionization potential, electron affinity, electronegativity gradually decreases. To form anions, next concept. To form anions, same these four factors affects. But how that effect will be? Vice versa to this particular thing. Here atomic size is increasing. Here in a cations, atomic size is increasing gradually. Remaining three are decreasing. In anion, atomic size will be gradually decreases. Remaining three, what happened there itself? There will be increase in the nature. In this way, the factors in formation of cation as well as anion, their effects. By this we have completed our topic called as ionic bond. Okay children, just now we have completed a concept called as ionic bond. Regarding that particular ionic bond concept, we have prepared a worksheet which you have practiced at home, and after listening the concept clearly, more attentively, try to solve these all questions so that you can gain marks. Such as what is ionic bond? For 1 mark question directly they may ask. And which group elements are losing electrons? List out those group elements. Similarly, which group elements are gaining electrons? List out those group elements so that we come to know it up. What are their valencies also list out it up. Similarly, ionic bond is also called as electrostatic bond as well as electrovalent bond. Why? You do it up. When it comes to 4 marks questions, formation of ionic bond, he may ask directly how an ionic bond forms by using a compound called as sodium chloride, magnesium oxide, sodium oxide, magnesium chloride, aluminium chloride. Similarly, another question is, 6th question is, factors affecting in formation of cations and anions to form an ionic bond. If you read these all concepts thoroughly, if you practice these all concepts thoroughly, you can easily get what the questions they are going to ask within this particular topic. So children, by this I am closing this session. Again, I'll come in front of you with a new topic called as covalent bond formation and types of covalent bond formation. Till that time, wait, be cautious, be practice all the questions what we have given for you, the worksheet what we have given for you, and be ready. Thank you children. Bye.